The KTM is finally back in the garage. We're going out to do a little X-Files investigation of some strange triangles carved into the desert. We are going to look for triangles in the desert. See how all that works out. It is so good to have the KTM back. It has been on the outside 2 months, at least 6 weeks since I have had this bike back. I just got it delivered back to me 2 days ago. I haven't had a chance to even test this thing out. We have been doing so much work to it. Started out with me doing a new chain sprockets, brakes, brake flush, bunch of stuff like that. Then the fuel pump failed, replaced that. O-ring failed on the fuel pump, had to get another O-ring for that. Reinstalled the fuel pump, that was all good. Then the 18,000 mile service came up, and then they didn't have valve cover gaskets, so we had to wait for that. So it was in the shop for 3 weeks, just waiting on all that stuff, and I really just got it back. Haven't had any time yesterday to test it, so we're out just taking a little run around here. Let's slow down, I want to scare this horse. But I am so glad to have this bike back. We're going to get out and get some dirt riding in. We're going to get some camping in, get some traveling in, hopefully here before the cold weather comes up north. It's going to be just about 100 today. We've had a little bit of cool weather going on. We've been just in the low 100s, high 90s, had some monsoon storms coming through, so the humidity's elevated, but even with the elevated humidity, it actually feels cool out today. It is a little bit sandy here. Not 100% certain what I'm looking for is self-evident from the ground. Has been abandoned for between 60 and 70 years. Well, according to Google Earth, we are at the very toppity tip of the thing. Plenty of horse poop to avoid. We have arrived. Well, my young friends, we have not arrived at an extraterrestrial landing zone, some type of Indian type of, or Native American, if you will, ancestral marking of the desert to the gods. No, we have arrived at a landing strip. This is one of several triangles that you'll find out in the desert. There's two that I know of here. One down by the Ford testing facility, and then there's one right here that's just to the north and west of there. And these were auxiliary fields for Luke Air Force Base. So in Surprise, Arizona, there was during World War II, so right around 1941, I think 41, 43, something like that, there was an auxiliary base, air base set up there for training for World War II pilots. And then they had all these little auxiliary fields placed all through the desert. And I believe that was for desert training. It was also inland far enough that Japanese forces couldn't get in here and disrupt the training. And since I don't have a drone, I'm going to give you some Google Earth and a "you are here" little pinpoint and give you an overview of what this looks like. So it's a big triangle shaped runway. So you would have a east-west facing one, and then a southeast, northwest, and you know what I mean. So you would have all those angles, so whatever your approach was, you would have some type of out to get in here. They did touch and go landings and all different kinds of things up here. These still do exist. They are still listed if you look at maps and things like that, and actually on Google Earth, they are listed as auxiliary fields. There's signage all the way around here on different roads, and not very blatant. You have to look for it. But these are auxiliary fields. Pretty cool. The one that is over by the Ford testing facility is got a lot more to it. There's the triangle for the touch and goes or whatever, the auxiliary type field, and then right next to it, I think it's in the would be the northeast corner of it, or northeast side of the triangle, is a full-on airfield. So that's my story for today, these desert triangles, and you can look them up on Google or Google Earth, and you'll find them. They're pretty cool. There's lots of different kinds of markings in the desert I hope to get to. There's ones for the mail service and for air travel before there was GPS and radar and all that kinds of stuff. So we'll try to seek those out as we move forward through the future. So we're going to jump back on, get on the bike, and head back down this trail. These airfields were, at least this particular one, this would be Luke Field Auxiliary Field 4, was active until the mid-1950s, like 1956, and may have gone till 66. And then the properties were sold to the city of Phoenix, probably thinking that someday, and that's probably the case, that Phoenix will annex all this open desert. Gonna exit this space to the north. Oh! That does not look like a good idea. Yeah, that's way too soft. I think I spy a different place to get across. See if we can do that without dumping the whole poop wagon here. I think if I come in this way and duck under this tree, see how it works out. Looks like the horse folks have been coming through here too. There we go. A little single track riding for you. Shnikes. get up on the pegs here. This is pretty sandy. So many roads cut in the desert out here from ranchers and miners and off-road folks that following a particular trail is tough even with a GPS. This should bring us out by rodeo ground up near Morristown. This looks pretty well laid up. I think I see a line that I can use. There we go. We had some storms. They really tore up a lot of these desert routes. And the sand at the bottom of these washes is very silty and not a good platform for motorcycle traction. Name of the game here, folks, is don't drop your 500-pound motorcycle on a 100-degree day. Yeah, the challenge is not necessarily the sand, which that's a challenge in itself, but the biggest problem is we got these little arroyos that cut through the road. At the bottom of those arroyos, there's no traction, so when your tire gets down in there and gets stuck, it just spins, and a lot of times it will catch a little traction on the back side of the arroyo and flop you right on your side, which is suboptimal. That's a mud hole mess. Let's see. This will get us around it. little single tracking again. Here we go. You have to really be careful with mud. For one, it's usually filled with manure and urine and stinks to high heaven. But it can be pretty deep, and you don't know how deep it is. And it's just like quicksand, because this stuff, this sand and gravel and stuff just turn into pretty much nothing. It liquefies. This is saying I should be over here somewhere. Well, this being a heavily trodden road, I'm assuming that's going to come out on a main road somewhere. It's not your average desert trail. I know where I am, but I don't know where I am. One of the things about desert roads and trails, sometimes you have to take west to go east. GPS actually shows this as a railroad. Very well could have been. There's a lot of rail that was laid just for mines and take over stagecoach routes and stuff like that that were built and abandoned shortly thereafter. I'm always amazed at the level of effort that was put into building and constructing any myriad of things, from railroads to towns to mines. Gargantuan efforts that were only used for 4, 5, 10 years, 20 years. This is a stretch of some pretty nasty sand. And I just stopped where you don't want to stop. Right in the middle of it. There we go. Stand up again, get my hips popped back into place. Off to my left here, or west, is the Vulture Mountains. You can see Vulture Peak right dead center there. And up there is the Lower Bradshaws. And you probably can't see it, but there's a high-perched volcanic plug over there. That's Red Picacho. Bunch of nice riding out here. Probably shouldn't say that too loud. Well, thanks for watching. I appreciate you watching. Please comment, subscribe, ding that bell so you get notified when I put up new videos. Like and share. Adios.